Hello. Welcome to the Smile Revolution, raising awareness to the healing power of a genuine smile. I was listening to a podcast. Wait a minute. I was listening to a podcast today that was so inspiring. I'm going to tell you about it in a few minutes. But anyway, somebody wants to say hello first. This is from a photo of me and Robbie Quinn from Street Unicorns book fame took my photo. And so it's from the photo. I didn't make the doll. So let's see, who else wants to say hello though? Okay, Gumby once again in on the action and give you a big smile and a hug. And somebody's here. Most people watch and replay, but it's nice when there's people live. Laura's watching. Thank you. I always appreciate when people watch live, as I know everybody's really busy with their lives, and we're not in lockdown anymore since a long time, 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago. I don't know. So anyway, this is my 167th show since March 2020, but I had a radio show before that, years before. And I used to interview, let's say I've interviewed Pete Seeger, folk icon, Arlo Guthrie, Richie Havens. I don't know what generation who's watching. If you don't know who they are, they were famous. And Richie opened up Woodstock 69. Arlo, Alice's Restaurant, and many other great songs. Anyway, I got to work on not saying anyway. Okay, so I'm an entertainer, performer. I write one-woman shows. I play the ukulele. I'm a hat designer. And you already know I'm a former radio show host. And what else do I do? I paint on clothing and hats as well. So, and then this show, I do a variety of shows, but this is my newest show is Woodstock or Bust, How a Hat Designer Started a Revolution, which I previewed in London. And I'm bringing to New York City in November. I'll be announcing it once I sign my contract, but, and what else? Continuing on with these shows. Okay, so I want to show I just feel like showing some photos, and I'm going to talk about this podcast that I watched today. I don't know, I feel like I'm going to show you a few pictures. I just feel like doing that. And then I'm going to go back and talk about this podcast. Okay, let's see if I can find these pictures. Oh, I can. Here they are. Some of these are from my hat happening. Oh, this is from a hat happening from London. Let's see. That's Jan Skates and Marissa from the hat happening. And this is after the hat happening, Sue Kreitzman and Richard Cabey and me. I think that was a dinner afterwards in East London. No, that was in Camden. And then this is actually my guest tonight is Robinson Treacher. And that's Karen Millman and I, after the concert, he opened for Willie Nile. And then this is Eric Person and Josiah Longo and me after the Slambovian Circus of Dreams concert at the Falcon in Marlborough recently. And Eric's going to be on my show next week. Eric Person, he's a renowned saxophonist, amazing guy. And what else is this? There's Willie Nile and I at the Town Crier in Beacon recently after the show. Okay, so let's see. Oh, thanks. Great photos. Yeah, they're fun. Yeah, I just felt like showing this tonight. Okay, so let's see. So I listened to, have you ever heard of On Being podcast by Krista Tippett? I know Laura has. I never heard of her before, actually. And my sister sent me this podcast yesterday. And she actually is, which I never knew about her, but she won in 2014 the National Humanities Medal from the U.S. President Barack Obama. And her podcast is so incredible. Today, so the podcast I was listening to was with Vivek. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's Indian. Vivek Murthy. He's an American physician and the 19th and 21st U.S. Surgeon General for Obama, Trump, and Biden. And he's also Vice Admiral in U.S. Public Health Service Commission Corps. I'm going to be, my interview is coming up shortly with Robinson Treacher, who is amazing. Singer-songwriter. So anyway, he was talking all about healing and how, with our country, there's so much violence and depression, and a lot of the kids are struggling with the mental, just feeling despair and everything, and all the shootings we're dealing with, and a lot of the mass shootings, they were lonely. These guys were lonely and in despair. So he was talking about how we could heal this. And it starts with all of us individually. It's like, even he talked about smiling. If you smile at somebody walking by you, it makes them feel better. It uplifts the other person. And he was saying that our communities, we all need to be more engaging, asking your neighbor, what brings them joy. So it's very in depth, but it's a very, very important interview. And I recommend it. You can go to onbeing.org, and it's in line with my mission, raising awareness to the healing power of a genuine smile, which I've had for 18 years. I'm still learning how to smile more, but really, if you smile at somebody, some people may think you're crazy, and some people think you're trying to pick them up or something. I don't know. Because it is some people don't like to smile in our country. I don't know about other countries. I can only talk about our country, really. But it does help the other person if you smile at them with love. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to, one more thing. The world according to Mr. Rogers. Okay. There is no normal life that is free of pain. It's the very wrestling with our problems that can be the impetus for our growth. And then he said, I hope you're proud of yourself for the times you've said yes, when all it meant was extra work for you and was seemingly helpful only to somebody else. And then, when action follows hard, 365 ways to share kindness, Susan Spencer. Okay, let's see. Well, I'm going to do June 3rd. Which was my special day. My husband and I were in line at a little donut shop behind an adorable brother and sister, maybe 8 and 10 years old. When they got to the front, they were struggling to count out the change to pay for their donuts. Seeing them trying to get the right amount of coins reminded me what it was like to be a kid again. I asked the server to add their donuts to our order. The 8-year-old swung around and said, really? Thank you, thank you, thank you, and gave me a big hug. Okay. So Robinson Treacher, I'll read you a little bit of his bio. A long career for a young life. At the crossroads of blues, folk, Americana, and country, you'll find the music of Robinson Treacher. He shared the stage with notable artists from Vince Gill, Arlo Guthrie, and Tedeschi Trucks Band to Los Lobos, Dement, G.E. Smith, Jorma Kaukonen, and Willie Nile. Robinson has been featured on Sirius XM series The Loft, live from the living room, and has been a frequent guest of legendary DJ John Platt on New York's famed WFUV Radio. Hall of Fame songwriter Don Schlitz has even touted Robinson as being impossible to follow in concert. Well, he opened for Willie Nile. They were both amazing, and anyway, you're going to love him. Anyway, so I am going to bring him on now. Okay. Hi, Robinson.
Princess, wow, how are you?
Good. It's good to see you.
Excellent to see you again.
My new friend. We just met days ago, right?
Yeah.
It was just on Saturday.
Yeah, less than a week ago. It was excellent.
Yeah, I know. It's really cool. So anyway, I met you you opened for Willie Nile at the Town
Mm.
Crier in Beacon, New York.
Yes, it was.
And when you came on, we just like you're just so unique. They were all like kind of blown away when you started your show. And then you start singing and we're like, whoa, it's like you are just incredible.
Wow, that's so kind of you. So kind. Thank you so much.
And
I just have to say I am wearing a little headdress in honor of PW over here. She, mistress of headdresses. I can never do you any justice. So maybe we can lead this into something someday.
Oh, well, I make them, right?
I know you do. I know.
That.
We'll figure out. We'll get a Robinson Treacher.
That would be cool. I mean, that would be great.
100%. I'm in.
Because you always like to have unique headwear. I know.
Yeah. Well, I have some dreads, and I have to do something with them. So.
Right. Okay. All right. We have to talk about that. So in the meantime, the show was amazing. You were incredible. And then Willie Nile, with his full band. I mean, he's isn't he? He's amazing. And he's such
I told Willie, I said,
huh?
He's hitting his stride, in his 70s.
I know.
He's more popular now than ever before.
Oh, is he really? I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, the band is fantastic, and he's got the right
band's
guys.
Amazing, isn't it?
Amazing, right?
He's amazing. The band's incredible. I mean,
energy, a lot of energy.
Yeah. Well, I met him before the pandemic, and Richard Barone produced a concert at the Iridium.
Oh, I love Iridium. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. So I was there as Richard's guest, and I'd never seen Willie Nile play, and I'd heard about him, but I never saw him play. And then I was there were all these musicians from the 70s. It was like a 60th anniversary of one of the folk city in honor of. So anyway, and I was like completely blown away when I saw Willie Nile and his full band play. And then I had to talk to him, of course.
Oh, and he's so approachable.
He's so down to earth and just so easy to talk. I know he really is. And then, of course, I mentioned my ex-husband, Roland Musa, who was friends with everybody and, Richie and everybody in the village in the 70s. So as soon as I said Roland, he was like, oh my God. He's like, I love Roland. He's so wonderful. Let me talk to him. Let's call Roland. And he's like so happy to hear about Roland.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was really cool. So my connection with that made it closer with him. And so I kept in touch with him during the pandemic because I was doing shows online and promoting different musicians. And so I was in touch with him during the pandemic. Anyway, so I interviewed him recently, and then he invited us to the show, and that's how I met you.
Yeah, and Willie has, I would love to start by even just mentioning this because it is the conduit between the two of us.
Right.
But he really is for everybody. I don't think he realizes what, how much, just by opening for Willie is opening for people who are open-minded about different types of music. So what I do may have an edge to it, not the way Willie has an edge to it. And maybe first of all, it's a great thing because you don't want to have the same two types on,
you don't want the same exact. Right.
And we respect each other. So, we talk a little bit before and after we in the green room, and he's like, oh, I love the way you do this, and the way, and I'm like, man, that is so kind from a man who commands an audience. I know, not just in his presence, but just the lyrics, the attention to detail, the vibe he has, the camaraderie between the band and the audience. He really holds it. So to play for Willie is to play for a crowd who's very willing to be listeners. Yeah,
no, definitely. And the fact that also that he, toured with the Who, and I mean his background's amazing.
And anybody could show up at his shows. Bruce could show up at his shows.
I know, exactly.
Marlon Jeffries could show up at his shows.
Yeah, right. I know. Because now they all love him. Bruce Springsteen is a big fan of his and helps him and stuff. So I know it's just incredible. So anyway, I'm really grateful that we met.
As am I.
And so the thing is that your music is blues, folk, Americana, and country, right?
Yeah, it's soulful, bluesy, singer-songwriter meets a little gospel and all that. Yeah, it's a big mix. I try not to define it myself. I always say, what do you think it is?
Yeah, it's totally unique. It is really unique, and your voice is incredible. It's
I
just like
appreciate
really
that.
powerful. Yeah, it really is. It's amazing. And so you have so you have a new album out, Hermitage Cafe,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
when did
Hermitage
that come
Cafe
out?
is so I record in Sudbury, Massachusetts with Neil Eckstein. You guys might know Neil. He's a killer producer. He owns the great Fox Run Studios up in Sudbury. I record in Jersey and I record in Nashville. And this was a bunch of songs that were Nashville inspired. And I got very lucky to have guys like Jason Aldean's guys and Luke Bryan's guys, all these sessions guys who play on all their albums were in town, and they played on the album.
Oh, that's great.
It was fortuitous. That happens sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I saw some of your videos. They're so good on your website.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, that's with the Cosmic Orchestra. Those guys, they're kind of my my backup band for a lot of shows. And we're going to be doing a bunch of shows coming up. Those guys they played with everybody. Everybody.
Oh, really? Yeah. No,
yeah. They're just consummate sessions guys and live music. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
sometimes, like I said, sometimes you get lucky. So this new album is very country. When I play live by myself, solo, I put one or two of the songs in that might be appropriate, but you can't really play all of them because it has pedal steel and a lot of other instrumental, instruments that I can't faithfully reproduce live.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're from New York. Where are you from?
Mm-hmm. Long Island, originally.
Where?
South Shore of Long Island, originally.
Oh.
Yeah, Oceanside.
Okay.
And then grew up down here and a little bit upstate.
Now, where are you now? Where are you living now?
Right now, I'm in Long Island right now.
Oh.
I've been very fortunate to have friends of mine in Nashville who give me the keys to their homes. So I make that my other home.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. It's nice to have
great.
friends all around the country.
And that's good.
It is. And it brings a different perspective. Midwest, South, North.
Right.
Friends out in California. And you can't be pigeonholed into one little area.
And that's really good. So, but you also come upstate too? I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Where? Where do you stay?
Well, the Catskills area.
Woodstock
area, Phoenicia, and that area. Like that.
Right,
That's I spent my summers as a kid up in that area.
Okay.
So that was kind of like a second little home for me when I was a kid.
Okay.
The creeks, the Esopus, and the Delaware, and that area. But yeah.
I spent a lot of time in Woodstock area. Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay. So then you know. I mean, so I fish up there a lot.
Okay. Yeah, my new show is called Woodstock or Bust.
I saw that. that.
So it's
I meant to talk to you about that. I was going to ask, can I interview you for a moment with that? What is that about?
The subtitle is How a Hat Designer Started a Revolution. And it's all connected to how I started the Smile Revolution.
Yes.
My dad passed away, his last smile, and we had a difficult relationship and all the things. And then I wanted to marry a musician. Did you know that? Why? Well, because I was hanging out with, I'll tell you, okay, really quick, and then we'll go back to you.
It's okay, but I think it should be a give and take. I want to hear a little bit more.
I was hanging out with Clifford Carter, his wife, is my childhood friend. Clifford Carter was a keyboard player for James Taylor for 15 years.
Okay.
And many other musicians. So he toured all over the world,
Dan Dugmore, who is his slide guy and pedal steel, plays for me.
Okay. So anyway, so Clifford Carter, I was hanging out with him and he just totally got me. It was like the first time I met him, he's like, didn't I see you on Saturday Night Live in the 70s? That was his first sentence out of his mouth when he met me. So like this guy gets me, and I was like, musicians are different than other other people, So I said, okay, you are a little bit different. So I said, I got to marry a musician. So I said, I'm serious. So I said, where am I we meet a musician? Woodstock.
You'll find
me. Of course, Woodstock.
New York City, you'll find a million too.
Yeah, right. But of course, I'm like thinking Woodstock. I lived in Woodstock part-time, and that's where I met Roland. And we're divorced, but we're still good friends and still writing songs. And he got me into singing on stage and writing music and everything. And in my show, I play ukulele and songs that we wrote together. And then John Cruth, who's a friend of mine who I interviewed recently, he wrote a song called Beige that I play on stage because I wear a lot of color. And it's like, anyway, I'm in this color wall crowd in London, and we all wear lots of color. So anyway, my friends.
I don't. I stay with the drabs.
That's fine. I'm gonna say you still look cool.
Stay with the grays.
You have a different. No, you look great. It's just you have a different, unique look. But color is very uplifting and cheerful, and so I got into that. I've been wearing color since the 90s, at least. When everybody in New York was wearing black, I was walking on the street with all my rainbow colors, and it got me a lot of publicity. But I just wore it because I couldn't stand all the black.
Well, there's the wow.
There's the wow. Yeah, there's the wow. So anyway, so that's it. So I was touring with another show before the pandemic, and then I was doing online shows and then back into interviews. And so you said you're interviewing me a little bit. So anyway, and the point is
I get to interview you. Welcome to my interview. This is Robinson Treacher. I'm interviewing Princess Wow.
Okay.
So good to see you today.
Okay. All right. So in the meantime, I started writing this new show, and it's autobiographical. But it's comedy, storytelling, autobiographical, part music, interludes. I'm like a character playing music. I'm not. But it's
just you.
It's just me.
So that's what I'm saying. This is the connection right here. Because when you're sitting on stage, I have a band here, I have a band in Nashville. But when you're on stage, you're naked. It's got to be passion. You have to have every bit of the charisma that makes you feel great to exude that to the crowd. And if you're not feeling it and you're phoning it in, which you're not going to do, which I'm not going to do, the crowd knows it. So we're really part and parcel of the same thing, right?
Yeah, so I do like it anyway. And then I also do a hat happening. It's a show I've been doing for a long time. It's gotten a lot of publicity. It's like a hat with my hats I designed. I put them on people's heads. I bring wigs and boas and dress them up. And so I do that at the end, like towards the end, I do a hat happening, which is really fun with wigs and the whole thing.
A hat happening.
It's called a hat happening. It's been in the featured big article in the New York Times. I've been on Good Day New York 4 times doing it. And I bring I dress people. It's kind of,
give me those. I want those. Can you hand them?
It's kind of like.
Can I? If I could reach in, can I get those from you?
Okay, here. So it's kind of like dress up. Kids like to dress up, so adults do too. It's not.
Oh, are you kidding me? I love it. It's the best.
The child within still wants to dress up. And here, this is me in the 90s.
Wow, look at you there.
Yeah, see, it's like.
So you haven't changed much.
No,
it's just,
not really.
That's exciting. Good, excellent.
Yes, anyway, let's back to you. Okay, well, thank you for interviewing me a little bit. Back to you. Okay, so why don't you do a song for us?
Okay.
Okay.
Do a song. Here's something brand new, I guess.
I think I think I'll go off. I'm going to go off while you're doing it, and then you'll have the full screen.
Oh, I don't care.
Is that okay?
Just tell me if you can hear it.
You want me to stay on? Okay.
It's called Happiness. I want to look at you because you have the word smile behind you. Come on.
Okay.
It's called Happiness. This is unreleased yet.
Oh.
Here goes my happiness. Walking out the door. Took all my confidence. And now I ain't so sure. They say, oh, King Cole was a merry old soul. A merry old source he. Oh, I wish he'd share some of that happiness with me. Yeah. Here come that emptiness, that overmade pain. Don't make but a liquor sense, but I can feel it just the same. I woke last night to a terrible sight, a raven perched on my door. Can I love again? Quoth the raven nevermore. Mm-hmm. How am I to face me? Yeah. I'm standing here blind, just looking for a sign. Here comes that happiness, and my arms are open wide. I feel that beauty I possess welling up from deep inside, with Mr. Shakespeare's line burning in my mind. To thine own self be true. Can I share some of my happiness with you? Please let me share some of that happiness with you.
It's great. That's really
cool.
cool.
I'm glad you did. That's unreleased. You got all that smile stuff and the positive, and the vibes and the charisma that you have. That song's perfect for you. That's for you.
Thank you. That was great. That was
happiness. Thank you for liking it.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Well, now I'm like a big fan. I've been watching.
Spread the word. I always tell everybody, just spread the word.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, that's what this is about. What I'm doing. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I just love to. I don't know. I love artists so much, and we're all artists here, so it's like I like to. I don't know. I just enjoy this. People say I'm a good interviewer. So I used to have a radio show, so I'm just getting back into it again.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the sharing of stories. That's what Willie does it great. Willie's really consummate about it. I said consummate twice.
About his storytelling, yeah.
He really does, and you got to. Sometimes that seems to translate to a crowd when you're sitting on a stool and you're playing acoustic, and it's a listening room, but Willie will play a listening room and then knock it out of the park like it was the Garden, and then bring it back down to the story again. So that there's real talent in, like, you being a woman show or being a part of a cast or whatever it is. As long as the crowd gets why they're there, and I guess it transcends from the artist to the listener, then we've done our job.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's really cool. So anyway, when did you start playing, getting into music?
I was a kid. I mean, like, probably no different than anybody else.
Like most musicians, yeah, you start as a child.
Yeah, it was music around the house, and I gravitated toward we had an organ, and there was a guitar, and I don't even know why they were in the house. I think my dad just liked the idea that there were instruments. My mother and father really, I can't think of a moment in my house where they weren't singing, or in the car where they weren't singing, or there wasn't some 50s or 60s doo-wop or Motown or something on the radio.
Okay.
It just permeated everything we did.
But they weren't professional musicians.
No, they didn't even.
They just love music.
They just love music.
Yeah.
And having the instruments around, I think, was more of like hey, let's see if this goes somewhere.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, and I picked it up, not knowing what I was doing, of course. And whoever does, when you're a kid, you just pick it up and start play on one note, one right. string, or you play Mary Had a Little Lamb, whatever it is that you play, Smoke on the Water, whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
And then you, if you like it, you stick with it. If you don't, you move to baseball or soccer or art, math, just something else. But
right,
music stuck.
Okay. Did you take lessons, or you just did it self-taught?
No, I didn't have the focus to take lessons. I took piano lessons for maybe a month, and the woman told my mother, "This isn't going to work."
Okay.
It was too headstrong.
So what? So you just learned the guitar yourself?
Yeah. I picked it up. I play upside down and backwards, so I picked it up not knowing what I was doing. I listened by ear, and I put my finger in where I thought it was. And then I had friends who played, who would show me a few chords.
Okay. Just
like anybody else. A couple of guys show me a chord, and I said, "Oh, what's that chord?" And then I try to incorporate that into what I was doing. And that's kind of, it's organic. It wasn't anything where I sat with a real an instructor at any point, but I guess I did because my buddies instructed me.
They were telling you, yeah.
As loose as they were, as loose as I became.
And what about songwriting? When did you start doing that?
From the moment I realized I could come up with at least 3 chords. I was always a good English major, so as a kid I could always write short ideas and storylines that made me sort of feel. I remember thinking that when I was a little kid. I remember thinking like, wow, I'd write a poem or something and it would give me chills. And I thought, well, if that gives me chills,
wow,
maybe it gives somebody else chills. Or I would make a painting. I'm not very artistic that way. And then I would explain what it was. And my explanation was more interesting to the person listening than the actual picture I was making. So then I realized I could tell a good tale. I was also a real good liar as a kid. Like real freaking good liar.
okay.
Like my stories were just so creative that I didn't get in trouble.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, that's funny.
And then I realized, wait a second, songwriters could be liars.
Right.
Quite often we are.
Yeah, you could just make up stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be. I think it was Hemingway said, write what you know. But there have been great people who just. I think it was Bruce Springsteen who said, "I never worked in a mine. I never worked."
Right. Exactly. Right.
He didn't do it, but if you can envision it and put yourself in the spot and then use your low level talents to raise it to I think it just I think that's the route I went, whether it works or not. And sometimes it works, I can tell, and sometimes I think it's going to work, and I'm like, wow. But I think I have just one rule of thumb: if it excites me, it will excite you. If it makes me cry, it'll make you cry.
Right. Okay.
That's my.
When did you start pursuing it professionally?
2010, I think.
Oh, 2010. Oh,
2010. Okay. I mean, I had written my first album I recorded was 08, 09, somewhere in there.
Okay.
So, what happened was I recorded the first album, Chrome, with all those artists that were playing. We had probably 5 instruments on every song. And then the problem was the first show, the big debutante ball for the CD was just me, and I didn't know how to authentically play those songs live. So we had an issue. So I played them and I played the show and I got through it. But I promised myself that from that point on, any album I ever do, I'll be able to authentically play with the band or sitting on a stool by myself. It was a good lesson to learn, I'll be honest with you.
Right. Well,
really so now any song on any subsequent album, I can probably play sitting on a stool.
Okay. Okay, good. I know everything you do, you learn, right? You learn.
You do.
You really learn from your mistakes and what you didn't know. Okay. So, okay. And what is your nationality?
Oh, I'm a whole bunch.
A lot of things, right? Huh?
Yeah, I'm a whole bunch of things. I mean,
are you part native? Are you part native?
No. Sicilian, which could be a lot of things.
Okay.
So if I'm half Sicilian, and that's I guess if you saw my dad looks like an Arab. If he had a turban on, he's North African looking.
Okay.
And my mother is Scottish and Irish, so it's Italian, it's Mediterranean and Northern European.
Okay. Okay.
So I get very pasty white in the wintertime, and I get nice and dark in the summer.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. All right. So then, and you've played with Arlo Guthrie, who I know, and Vince Gill, Los Lobos, Tedeschi Trucks Band, and of course Willie Nile. Yeah. So that's really cool. So you've been doing this professionally for like 13 years?
Yeah, about 12 years or so. Yeah, about
years.
That.
Okay. And you have a publicist and you have a manager, right?
I've had a few managers through the years.
You have? Okay.
I'm through BMI. I was in ASCAP. I go through BMI, and I have PR people who are amazing. And if it weren't for them, nobody would know who the heck I was.
Oh, that's great.
It is, and it's invaluable. It really is. And having people who know the tech side of things, I'm very analog, I'm here, me and the guitar, that's analog.
Right.
And when you get people who know they're tech savvy, it's been wonderful. And they've become very good friends and they're part of the family.
Oh, that's great. And how did you get your publicist, or they found you, or?
No, it's not a publicist. I don't have a publicist.
Oh.
No, it's just people in my corner. If you know a publicist, we can have a conversation. I would love to get somebody who.
I do. One of my best friends is a music publicist, but she works for a record label. I don't know if she's taking on other music.
Yeah, I think that's the issue, is that they have a lot of people they take on when they work for labels.
Yeah, what I'm saying. I don't know.
We've not explored that avenue yet, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious. Okay. I mean, I'll send her one of your videos though, because she's a very good friend of mine.
I'm in. That's, like I said, spreading the word is about half of it, but it's also about showing up. Like you have shows. I'm excited, and when other people that I play with hit me up that they have shows, I try to pimp it out as much as I can on my social media.
That's sweet of you. That's really sweet.
That's what we all should be doing.
I know, you're right. We all need to be helping each other. I agree.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, so you have, let's see, June 3rd, you've got Hook, Lines, and Singers Festival in Virginia, Moneta. I don't know where that is. Moneta, Virginia.
It's in the Blue Ridge. It's outside the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Oh, okay.
In Western Virginia.
Okay.
It's about 9 hours
from Maryland. I'm from Maryland.
So okay. So, but Western Virginia is like woo woo. Yeah, it's a festival that used to be called Lyrics on the Lake, and a few new people took it over, and it's great. We bring it's all Nashville artists.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
we all get on boats and we go from venue to venue to venue to venue on the lake, and we play for a bunch of days. It's great. It's always been wonderful, and people down there become part of the family as well. I actually take my family down there in July, and we have our own. We rent a house there every year.
Oh, that's really neat. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. And then you go in July. You'll be in Nashville.
Nashville for a few shows. Doing private barbecue things for some fun with some great writers. Playing over the Commodore, and then I got to be in the studio in Nashville.
So you'll be recording a new album?
New stuff, yeah.
Some new things. Oh, good. Oh, that's great. And then you're going to be at Great South Bay Music Festival with Government Mule and some other musicians.
Yeah, it's a 4-day festival. I'll be away for most of it, but you got Phil Lesh and friends are playing. Hot Tune is playing.
Oh, wow.
Government Mule's playing. It's just going to be great. And we got a great slot. That's with the full band. That's with the Cosmic Orchestra. So if you look at the Robinson Treacher website and you see the videos, or the YouTube videos.
I'm going to show you here. Yeah.
That's it. That's the band that'll be playing with me live. They're the New York band. Those guys they're just amazing.
And Patchogue, where is that?
Patchogue, it's Long Island. There's a big huge field, and there are big stages, and it's a 4-day festival, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're doing the last night, the big night, on Sunday.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's see. So how many albums have you done?
Chrome, Porches, Born, and Hermitage Cafe is the 4th.
Okay.
We have another one done in the bag, and I don't have a name for that one yet. And then we have another country one done, and that's in the bag. So we have 2 more albums done. Recording a blues album. Old school blues, like 1961 blues, all original.
Oh.
And that's 3/4 in the bag, recording that in New Jersey. And then I have another Americana album. We've recorded portions of it all over. So
so you have busy. A lot of albums like that you're about to release.
We're real busy, and I'm writing songs with other people, which is great. For movies and other things that I can't talk about yet.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, with some great songwriters from Ohio, and we've just been connected with some great players, and I'm just trying to keep my stirring every pot I could put a ladle in.
Well, that's great. That's great.
But
Well,
you can't do one thing and sit back on your laurels.
right.
Because some of these things take years to come out. So
you've got like 4 albums that are about to come out.
3 that are
Great.
about to come out, and there are 4 in the bag.
Okay.
So
Well,
we're going to apportion them out throughout the next year or so. We'll put a song out a month or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Then we'll release them as compilations.
That's really great. So what did you do during the pandemic?
Wrote a lot.
Wrote a lot of songs.
Well, the good thing about recording in the studio is everybody's in it. Everybody's in their own sound booth.
You were doing a lot of recording during.
We did a lot of recording. Yeah.
And so that's why a lot of these albums are from during that era.
Yeah, they are actually.
Okay.
And everybody knows, that. And a lot of the shows, it's interesting because we had a bunch of shows booked, and obviously everything got canceled, but so did everybody else.
Right.
So trying to book a new show is tough because they have to get to those people first.
Oh,
so there's a whole. I told everybody, I said I didn't think we would get back on track till 2023, 2024, and people laughed at me. They're like, "Come on, that's ridiculous." But it was about all those people who were booked for a year. You have to take care of those people first before you get new acts in those clubs.
Right.
So that's where we are now. I think we're just coming toward the end of all the people that they've been owed gigs.
Okay.
And now we are getting new shows.
Okay.
And we're trying to book, about a year out.
Okay. And also a lot of small clubs have closed.
And they have, sadly. And I know some of the owners, I like, this, Mindy, you totally know this. As much as these clubs love you, they have to stay afloat.
Right.
It's asses in seats.
Right.
So they could say, man, we love your show. We love what you bring, but who are you bringing? How many people are you bringing?
Exactly.
And at first that sounds very disheartening, but you have to think it from their point of view. You're not playing any of these shows if they're not bringing in real talent, and their buyers and their bookers are not constant. So it's not an easy thing to think about. And a lot of people lost restaurants. It's the restaurants. The service business, and I'm part of the service. We're part of the service business.
Right.
We're the help. At the end of the day, we're part of the service business.
Exactly.
And I know a lot of musicians. I don't know about you. I'm sure you could tell me, how many people have you known who had to go and get the 9 to 5? They had to pay the bills.
A lot of people, and a lot of places are closing still because they can't pay back their loans that they got during the pandemic. So that's
friends of mine in Nashville were just devastated. I mean, because by day, think about it, you're working as a waiter or a waitress, you're doing something by day, and then by night you're out there, but the day jobs were closed.
Right.
And then the night gigs were closed.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't viable.
Right.
It's hard.
Anyway, yeah. So anyway, is there anything, I think we're going to wrap this up. Is there anything else that you wanted to say before we
No, I just want to say hit RobinsonTreacher.com and come out to the shows and say hello and be approachable. Come take pictures. We'll shake hands and like I said, spread the word and follow everybody out there. All the musicians, all the artists are not as starving anymore, but we're getting back out there. I'm so excited about that, and be a patron of the arts, and please, for however little you may be giving, $20, $25, it means so much to every one of us out there.
Yeah.
On the small end, and then brings us up to the openers, and the openers to the headliners, and the headliners to the bigger gigs. So I look forward to all of that. I'm really excited, and it's been such a blessing to be spending time with you today. And I can't wait to see you again out on the road.
I know. I know. I'm so glad. It's great to see you again. And I'm so glad we met. And we've got some good pictures together.
Yeah, we have a lot.
I know. We have some cute. You're funny.
Yeah. As are you. We laugh. I know this, by the way, everybody out there, I'm home, she's home, but come to the shows and we're laughing and giggling like high school kids.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be.
And Karen, you met my friend Karen.
Yes.
Karen, and she's great.
Amazing. I know.
She's great. So she'll be watching this.
Oh, all right. I'm excited. And anybody who has any questions, just get in touch
well, you're so approachable and you have a great personality and you're like very original. Like you definitely are, just your music, everything.
Thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, no, I mean it. That's like, I'm just so glad we met. And I told Willie that I was going to interview you. He was happy.
Good. Willie's the best. It's great to have people on your side.
It really is. And Willie is just like, just an amazing person. I'm just so grateful that I'm friends with him. He's a wonderful person. On top of being an amazing performer in this band, but he's just such a great guy.
Oh gosh. And I heartily encourage everybody to go see him live. Please go see Willie. He's hitting his stride. If he was great in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, he's way better.
Yeah, he's inspiring. He's got his 75th anniversary concert coming up.
I know. I'm going to try to make that. I don't know if I can. Try to get in there and be in the crowd and just enjoy it and absorb it.
That's going to be amazing. Yeah, he's very inspiring. So are you. So anyway, thanks so much for taking the time to be on my show.
Thank you for inviting me.
And I will talk to you later.
Yeah, I'll catch up with you soon.
Okay, great. All right, thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, great. Okay. All right, let me end recording. Hold on a second. Okay, wait. End recording. Oh, wait. Okay. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that. That was a pre-recorded show. And so I'm live fielding comments. And my next show is next Monday at 8:00 Eastern Time. And I have Eric Person, who's a legendary saxophonist, and he's worked with so many people in the jazz world. He's an amazing guy. And so that's next Monday at June 12th at 8 p.m. He's also a flutist too, but he's mostly a saxophonist. Anyway, he's amazing. And I hope you can tune in next week and for more fun and more exciting interviewees. So talk to you soon. Thanks for watching live or on replay. And keep smiling and keep sweet. Join the smile revolution. And here I go with my credits. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. It's called the Smile Revolution.